Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a lot of friends, they have the people that I hang around with, we all meet together on Sunday, and people have helped them a lot, but we can't make him do what he needs to do. And he still he's, as far as we know, before he went into the hospital, he was still drinking whiskey, every day. We don't know. I mean, he had to have the DTs while he was in there. I don't know, how else, or they gave him medication, and he caught COVID while he was in there, or he got it while and was in there with it. So he's a prime example, as we all are. But he just, his whole body is ready for a transformation. So we'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens. He has a lot of people that care about him. He's a very polite. He has raised, his son is very polite, very respectful, and we'll just see what happens. But we can't make him do it. We can't make him stop drinking. We can't make him be willing to be willing. We'll just see.
So he listens to some music or something, kind of.
I'm trying to remember whether I asked. I don't think he's a big he knows a lot, I think, about music, but I don't know how much. They have a piano. Now that you say that, they have a piano in their living, a really sweet little piano that he was willing to sell when I was looking for one. I think he appreciates music. Yeah.
So
And he does. He is he has a lot of psychic ability. He has a tarot deck that he uses, but at times when he's had it, I asked him, to do it. He doesn't have a lot of he can't stay focused for long. I've noticed that, because I'll say, well, then do a reading for me, and he'll shuffle the cards, and next thing I know, he's talking about something else. So he can't stay focused for very long. But they're both of the guys are very talented, and we're concerned about his son, who's in his mid-20s, who doesn't drive, doesn't have a social security number, has never worked for anybody other than those of us who pay him, to do things around our house. He's willing to do that, and he's a gentle soul. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. But he's a prime example of, he took on a lot all at once.
So if the son plays something on the audio, will he be okay?
If something happens to his dad, will he be okay?
No. I'm saying if there are music, which can soothe your soul.
Yes. He knows. They know. That's why I brought my harp over and played it on him. He said, the first time I played it on the dad, he said, oh my gosh, he said, I haven't been this relaxed in a long time. So he was able to relax while because the harp is made to put on a person's body and then just let whatever happens happen. And he's the first person I've used it on in a long while. And he noticed a difference. I said, you may sleep better, you may see colors while I'm doing this. I never know what to expect. But then after a while, when I could see, when I repainted my car and I thought that I was going to sell it, I said to them, I can't keep coming back to your house. If you want to keep doing this, you have to come to my house, because you have to go down these roads and the car would get scratched on the side and everything. And I was more than willing to still do it, but they never called me and said, he never called and said, I want another treatment, although they did come over and do some work around the house. So Nalima, he knows everything. He's a smart man. He knows everything he needs to know. And if he doesn't, he knows who to ask. It's just a matter of is he willing? And sometimes we have heard him say, oh, this is going to cost too much. I don't want to go to the doctor because it's going to cost too much, because neither one of them work consistently. And they live in a little, very rough log cabin that they work on a little bit at a time. They have a car that doesn't work, and then they have a truck that always needs something. And so they're just getting by by the help of other people and their own, in their own smarts. So we'll just see what happens. One way or the other, if something happens to Nereus and he's no longer on the planet, Arimer is going to have to step up, right? He'll get people to help him. We'll help him, but he's going to have to grow up. He's going to have to grow up faster than he is, He'll be fine. I trust that he'll be fine. But I just have a sense that his dad is, even as much stuff is going on with his body, I have a sense that sooner or later, the dad is going to have some kind of a shift. Not necessarily because of me at all, or any of the rest of us. I think the light's going to go on sooner or later. I hope so. Yeah. So he has he has a new grandson. One of his sons who doesn't live with him has a new grandbaby, and who knows what might, who knows what might inspire him.
Yeah. So he knows about the grandchild.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And he has pictures and stuff. So they might even be out of the hospital by now, but nobody, all of us, when we found out he had COVID, everybody's going, oh, when he gets out, who's going to want to go pick him up, right? Because he can't drive himself. Maybe the hospital has a way to get him home. I don't know. But nobody was thrilled about going to get him. He might still be there for tests. Who knows? I'm going to, after you and I talk, I'll text his son and see what the latest is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, very surprisingly, I had a uncle, my own maternal uncle, who is this kind, he lived in the house which was built by my great grandfather.
Okay.
His grandfather. So, and it is the roof is just hanging. Anytime it may fall. And my father passed away in 2017. Before that, he was telling him to get it repaired, and he didn't do. He trusted my father much, and he wanted my father's help, rather than taking anybody else's help. He was kind of getting into that. As I told you, my mother was also schizophrenic, and I think that family, my mother's family, has that thing. They are not open to logic at many times. You can't explain to them things. Another uncle of mine is still living, so they are like that. But you cannot explain. So it is best that you don't actually communicate with them. It is somehow my aunt is there, so she is communicating with others. So might be that way they are surviving. So yes, I'm not surprised by all these things. My mother also was always living within her house. She was afraid to go out to anybody else's house, but she loved talking to people. So she sat down in the street where we had some sitting place, and
Mm-hmm.
whoever was passing by, she used to talk, and she
Mm-hmm.
used to talk about everything. She spoke about my salary to strangers, and and I had taken a very drastic decision, which is very surprising to many, because I decided to move on. Uh, I just decided to stay away from my husband, and my children were with my parents, and I had gone to another town for work. And this
Mm-hmm.
was a huge kind of decision. So people were
Yeah.
telling her, how can a mother leave her children for just money?
Yeah.
Because she couldn't tell that I had problem with my husband. So
Yeah.
she had to tell that she wants to be independent. So she had gone for work, and she is earning so much.
Yeah.
So the people were saying, for money, which mother goes leaving her
Yeah.
children? So that was very unpleasant to her.
Of
And
course.
she told me that people were saying this. So I asked her, who told about what I was doing? I will.
Mm-hmm.
Why had you have to tell them about me of all
Yeah.
people? Because she couldn't contain whatever her worries or anxiety. She thought that she can tell it to anybody and everybody, and she hoped that everybody will understand.
Yeah.
So I said, the world is not like that. Do you know about my father's salary? Do you know about my brother's salary, your own son's salary, your husband's salary? Because I told you, you know about my salary. Now, if now you know why they didn't tell you about their salary.
Yeah. Right. Because you would tell everybody else.
Huh.
She would tell everyone else.
Yeah, so this was something I didn't tell her, but this was discussed at home,
Yeah.
because when I was there with my family and all, I was in terrible shape,
Yeah.
and I didn't have enough earning also to sustain. I was not able to save anything, and I told you
Right.
that is the reason why I had to go. But
Mm-hmm.
in the next job, actually, it was double my salary, and
Uh,
the expenses were very less. So that was a thing of pride to my parents.
yeah.
But it it would have no meaning for other people. So they
Mm-hmm.
knew about my plight, so they were happy about it. But it
Mm-hmm.
mean that it will be happy news for other people. So so
Oh boy.
so it was like kind of um, she was in lot of mental anguish. Although
Yeah. Yeah.
when I was there, she didn't. She had she had behaved in a way which actually kept me away from her. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew she missed me after I was gone.
Sure.
And so the entire thing, when I see, I don't feel that she did something not fair with me or something.
Mm-hmm.
I can see she herself was a person who needed support, um,
Yeah.
help, and so if I go by that, then even my husband was in need of some kind of help. Everybody needed some kind of help, and I had to be stronger. And
Yeah.
then that is what they wanted. That is why, that is the way they behaved. And
Yeah.
I didn't have any way to know, comprehend that time. Now I know, because
Yeah.
after that I read so much, I could analyze so much. Then I
Yeah.
am able to forgive because I know people need help. And
Sure.
yeah, so that was it. So now
Mm,
it's okay, whatever has happened in my life or anybody's life, it leads to something. So,
yeah.
so but
You have to be able to look at both
both.
from many perspectives, not just two, but from many perspectives. Yeah.
So you
When
told me
go ahead.
last sometime some few months before, when you
Mm-hmm.
told me first time that Austin needed to be born. So that
Yeah.
was profound statement for me. You know, you
Yeah.
have told me it several times, and the every time you say that, mm, I feel something like, because these children needed to be born. That is why this entire thing has happened with,
Yeah.
and they needed to have this life, or they wanted to bless me. Their soul wanted to bless me, um, to be a blessed parent, kind of thing. Maybe that was the
Yeah.
reason. I will never know, but whatever it is, it has it has been like that. And yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Living.
I
Go
told
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I told you, even in case of my mother-in-law, I felt the
Yeah.
same. I could feel that she felt the peace when I told her that I'm with you. Now you are gone. Who? So
Mm,
I can I could feel that she liked uh, me forgiving her. So
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you when you think, maybe think, or I don't know what is that stage, then you can sense um, that you're when you are asking for help, or you are
Mm,
asking forgiveness, or you are forgiving, then that exchange is happening, you know.
yeah.
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 Absolutely. Absolutely. uh, I can see that living here with Austin and the kids, it continues every day in one way or the other. I grow because I told him when Saturday we took the kids, when the kids came over, we went to the grocery store and they started shopping for Christmas presents for, their uh, grandparents and all that stuff. So, um, where was I going with this? Oh, uh, uh,
Growth.
every yeah. What um, on the drive to the grocery store, I said to Austin, the kids were in the back seat; they really weren't paying attention, and I said, I made a decision. I'm going to stop worrying about you. And he said, "Oh, that's probably a good thing, because there are certain situations uh, that um, I think I worry about him, not so much because of his surgery, but when I came down here to help him in 2020. He had his surgery in 2020, but in 21 or 22, I can't remember if this was last year. I think it was the year before. He had a seizure. He had a major seizure outside on the grass. He and I were getting ready to go somewhere. He was going to drive. And I had a flashback to my brother at a wedding. We went to a wedding and my brother was on the floor at this wedding doing this crazy dance. And my mother and I saw him and we thought he was having a seizure. And then we realized he was just doing the alligator. He was dancing. So it's like, so we saw him get up off the floor and then, we realized what was going on. Well, when Austin had his seizure, he was on the ground pretty much doing the same thing. And then it hit me. This wasn't a dance. He was really having a seizure. And so his arms are stiff and his face was red. And then it hit me, this is really happening. And I had left my phone in the car. No, I had left my phone in the house, and he's on the ground shaking, and there was nobody else around. And, in that split second, I didn't know whether he was going to live or die. I just figured I might be watching him die. So I went over to him and found his phone on the floor and called 911, and they were here in a very short amount of time. And he was okay. He hasn't had a seizure since. We think it happened because he had done some physical activity. He was this is my best guess at why it happened. He was uh, still, in some kind of a recovery mode from the surgery, and he had taken some heavy thing down from upstairs. And I think he exerted himself more than normal, I think is what happened. So, he told the EMTs he was fine, and they sat with him. And we did go to the Veterans Administration the next day, and what they did was what we expected. They gave him medicine for seizures, which he didn't take, and he's been okay since then. But under certain circumstances, like I always tell him, that was my best day and my worst day. My worst day because I thought you might die, and my best day because you didn't, right? So since then, under certain circumstances, I think I worry about him. And so yesterday, or Saturday, when we were driving with the kids, I just had to step back. And the night before, I'd been thinking about this, and I thought, Sophie, you don't worry about much else in your life, but you worry about Austin, and that's not helpful. So I just told him, I said, I'm going to stop worrying about you. I'm going to trust, like I trust in everything else. It's going to be fine. And because that took a load off of him, and it took a load off of me.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. That was a big thing for me. Yeah. So
I have a colleague. I'm very close to her, and
mm-hmm.
she has a son, and he is the only son. So, and she is a cancer survivor.
Okay.
So she gets worried. Somehow, it was not there with her when she joined us. She was like 4 years back, just before COVID. She had joined,
Okay.
and since then, 1.5 years there was no office, so we didn't know of her. She was happy also, and after
Mm-hmm.
that, when regular office started, she started noticing people's behavior, and she notices a lot of people are not that what she used to think about them. So
Mm-hmm.
suddenly last year, she has picked up this. I could see that she had picked up this anxiety factor. When that happened first time, because she was worried before, just before that, and we are pretty very close. We talk about everything, and I can see her, I can sense her, the way she is thinking. So the first time she expressed that, I thought she is now in charge, and she is retaliating whoever was saying anything offending to her. But
Mm-hmm.
it was not that. It was her anxiety showing up. So she was in the top of her voice. She was scolding somebody. So
Mm-hmm.
I mistook it for her power. It was not that. So since then, every now and then, whoever told her something, a little bit of something offending, or she thought it was offending, she will just blast. So,
Mm-hmm.
so then I have started telling her, this has just happened. This has just happened. It was not there before. So just try to remember why this has started happening. Because it was not you before this.
Yeah.
And I am happy that you can say it aloud. I
Hmm.
can only think that this person is this, that, and then get over it. But you are able to say it that you didn't like this and this is fine. But if it is worrying you, then it is not good. So that worry, she she is now worried about her son. Her
Hmm.
son is a very relaxed kind of personality. He
Hmm.
doesn't worry about a thing in this world. Not
Hmm.
even his exam, not even his result. She is very, very particular.
He worries for.
Sorry. And uh, he has gone to Bombay for an
Yeah.
internship. So he's just 21 or so. He's doing his master, so he is required to do some internship. So, and my friend, she wanted him to do an internship in a reputed institute, so he had to go to Bombay. We live in
Mm.
Delhi. That his her son is doing masters in Calcutta, another city, and from all the way from east he has gone to west, and she is anxious and worried about whether he has taken his enough clothing or not. This certificate, this. So when he reached the next day, he called and she was saying, "You are wearing another shirt today. Yesterday you were wearing another shirt. You will be staying there for 15 days. You don't have that many clothes. Now, how you
Uh-huh.
manage?" So, so sorry. She told me this. I said, let him have whatever he has, and he will manage. He
Yeah.
is there to show up, and he will be worried, or he will be ashamed if his dress is not right. Why you are
Yeah.
worried? What you will do?
Yeah.
Oh, no, yes, I cannot do a thing, but I am. See, let him
Yeah.
be. Let him
Yeah.
be, and he will be fine the way he thinks he would be. You can't do anything.
Yeah.
Hi, yes,
Right.
yes, yes, yes. I understand that, but I'm worried.
Right.
So that is the
Right.
problem you. And that son actually has messaged her in his way. You should see a doctor and get yourself treated because you are too worried about things.
Uh, one of the things we're pretty screwy sometimes as moms. Uh, One of the things I have learned about Austin, he's a very low key kind of guy too, and uh, he's he's always thinking. I know he's always thinking, and but what I have learned is he is not a Marine by accident, because when an emergency arises, I know that Austin kicks it in gear. I have seen that happen more than once. And so I can trust that, he may have had an injury to his neck, but if we were in danger here or the kids were in danger, Austin's automatic his training kicks in, and we could, depend on him to be the best of who he can be at that moment. So um so I've learned a lot from him and the kids,
Yeah.
about who they are and who I am. And I think I'm so chill, but sometimes I'm not, you know I think I am, but they remind me that I'm not always.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, I get to see the best of them. Yesterday, Rebecca she just turned 11 in September, and she was wrapping her Christmas presents. And she is very physically developed already, as she looks 14 years old.
Oh,
And you know, after in September, when school starts up again, she's going to be in middle school. And yeah, she looks much older for her age. She's very cute, and she's very she stands in her power. For an 11-year-old, she stands in her power. She gets herself in trouble because she back talks. And, you know, there's no, when she decides that she needs to say something, you know, she says it. And, you know, that's going to be I've said to her before, Rebecca, I can see you being a good manager. I said, you know how to give orders, but you need to learn how to be kinder, because sometimes she's not very kind. And Rafe aggravates her, and then she's 2 years older and sharp witted, and she lets him have it. And then he ends up on the short end of the stick, right? And that's kind of what ended up happening on Saturday. He ends up crying sooner than she does, you know, but he's got his own little Scorpio way of getting at her. And so she puts up with it for a while, and then she lets him have it. And when she lets him have it, she's got 2 years ahead of her and a smart mouth. And then, you know, then they have to go in separate corners for a while, but then they end up giggling and playing together. So it's interesting to watch the dynamics of the two of them. He's 9 and she's 11, and as a brother, having an older bossy sister, because she's very bossy, is very interesting. The dynamics of that are very interesting to watch. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that Austin is low key, because he handles it much better. You know, I try to stay out of it because it's not my business, but I wouldn't handle it as I wouldn't handle it as well as he does. He's very calm with the way, you know, he disciplines them. So yeah, so I learn a lot from being here with them. And as somebody asked me yesterday at the cantata, when we had cookies and punch downstairs in the church, somebody said, "Oh, did you move?" Because I had said to Austin I was considering looking, you know, but I said to my friends, no, I didn't move. Austin and I just communicated. And one of my other girlfriends said, it's a lot easier to communicate than to get up and move, which is totally true. Because that's my lesson. You know, it's like, ugh, you can't just move every time things don't go right, right? You gotta, so the things I didn't talk about, it's like Austin is like, and I've told him this, he's like living with his father. So all the things that I didn't know how to communicate with John, with his dad, I am forced to do it with Austin. You know, the lesson is you pay me now or you keep paying me later. So, you know, he and I for a long time didn't know how to talk to one another. And but we do pretty well, you know. But it is like talking to his dad.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Yes, Sophie. So
Yeah.
uh, please listen to that audiobook, and I'm sure you will remember many things to tell me, because
Okay.
I I finished that listening to that audiobook finally, but
Yeah.
I didn't understand a thing what he was
Uh-huh.
meant to convey, other
Yeah.
than this one thing, that a world exists beyond the rationality, and we have to give up rationality to understand that world. So I don't know how to do that. I have experienced uh, a little about that. So when you will say, I'll understand that, I know, but I haven't experienced it myself. I have I can understand, but I haven't experienced. So that will be the difference still, till I experience.
Okay.
So, yeah. So thank you.
So if I just heard what you said you learned from the book that the world that the learning is beyond rationality. That's what you said.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, but since I have experienced a bit here, there, not very
Yeah.
systematically.
Yeah.
Whatever you will tell, I will understand. But to experience it fully, I need to experience it as well. So,
Yes.
so that will be my question. That will be my question in between when you will explain it to me. Those questions will come from me also. And sorry. And whatever stories of life that we are discussing, um, I can relate. Whatever your
Hmm.
experience has been, relate to each angle that
Yeah.
whatever. So when I'm done with that, I was thinking that each time I write something every day, I'll send it to you. So
Okay. However you want to do it is fine.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So but you know, the first draft will not be the last draft. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. When do you want to chat again?
so tell me when you will be free now.
Um, how about Thursday? How about, let's see, not Thursday. This week the evenings are busier than the daytimes.
Yeah,
What date how about Friday? Is Friday okay?
for me every day is okay after 8.
Okay. Tomorrow my friends and I are getting together. Oh, we'll probably be done, but when tomorrow we're having our little Christmas party at like 4. That'll just be probably an hour and a half. So we could do tomorrow. Wednesday, I'm meeting up with somebody. We could do tomorrow at the same time. We could do tomorrow. Yeah, we could do tomorrow. You're nighttime. I'm thinking nighttime, but it's not gonna be nighttime. Yeah, we could do tomorrow. We could do tomorrow morning if you want.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Okay.
I'll try to, I have their Christmas, I'm making, there's a craft item. You take a book and you fold the leaves in, you fold them in twice, and then you do that all the way around with all the pages, and it looks like a Christmas tree. So I did that for each one of them, and now today I have to spray them gold and put some decorations on them, because tomorrow is going to be our little, we go to the little motel here in town. They have Taco Tuesday, so they have special taco deals every Tuesday, and we go there, and I think people are planning to trade Christmas stuff tomorrow. But we're going to go early because these families live on the hill, and there's no lights, and they're up on the mountains, and it's not fun to drive in the dark if you don't have to. So we go early before it gets real dark.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have about that because I live right in town, but these guys live up on the mountain. So, but I should, if I, if something comes up, I should be fine. Nothing should come up between now and the morning for me. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Sure, sure.
Okay. Have a good sleep.
Yeah, you too. You
All
too.
right.
Have a
Sweet
good
dreams.
day. Good day.
Love you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.